suddenly came a spark. Then all of a sudden, the battery exploded. I need to hear everybody say boom. The battery exploded. John sat up in shock and said,
"What happened?"
Then all of a sudden, the battery that exploded grew a pair of legs. Then the battery grew a pair of arms. Then the battery grew up a head, and the battery said,
"My name is Ted."
and then Ted said,
"I need to be fed battery oil soup." I would think battery oil soup. Batteries and oil. Duh.
so then John got up, amazed at what he was seeing, and grabbed some oil from the car and some battery oil, and they started to stir it up. John smelled that battery oil soup and got real nauseous. But Ted drank the battery oil soup,
What do you mean?
and all of a sudden Ted started getting some energy. And started doing,
The Ted dance.
so they did the Ted dance. Ted dance, Ted dance, Ted dance. So Ted took that battery oil soup and poured it on another one of John's special batteries. And another robot was born named,
Funny people.
and they started doing
The funny people dance.
funny people dance, swing your hands. Funny people dance, swing your hands. So then funny people took more of that battery oil soup and poured it on another one of John's batteries. And another robot was born named,
Crazy.
and they started doing
The crazy dance.
crazy dance, crazy dance, crazy dance, stick your hands, crazy dance, crazy dance. And then Crazy took that battery oil soup and poured it on another battery. And another robot was born named,
Sam.
so they started doing
The Sam dance.
sand dance, sand dance, sand dance, sand dance, sand dance, sand dance, sand dance. John at this point is so happy and excited, and he decides that he wants to do,
The John dance.
so they do the John dance. John dance, John dance, John dance, John dance, John dance. John is so beside himself with happiness because he's thinking back to the time when he was younger and used to try to work on his little robot cars. And he could get them to move for a little bit, but then they'd stop and never move again. And he realizes what the solution to his problem is. What's going to make his robots always move is
Battery oil soup.
he is so happy, so incredibly happy. Okay, why am I forgetting what happens here? What happens next?
They dance all the way to the top.
Oh, so they all dance. They all do their dance until they all begin to grow tired. They dance with John until the break of dawn. And then John, tired himself, asked Ted,
Do you want more battery oil soup? No. Go to sleep. Alright.
so John agrees because he's tired himself. But what he decides he has to do first, because he's paranoid about CIA helicopters, he first looks out his window to see if he sees any CIA helicopters, because he knows that the government will be interested in his new invention. And then he hides all of his robots in a special place. A special place in his garage. And he covers them up. sits down in his special comfortable seat in his garage and goes to sleep. The next morning, his best friend Jordan comes to the garage and she's supposed to help him with some of his cars. Now Jordan is known for being a robotics geek. Besides being good with cars, she's very good with building robots, except they never really work. So she goes looking for some car parts to help John. Seeing he's asleep, she doesn't want to wake him, and she accidentally uncovers Ted. When she sees Ted the robot, she screams and wakes up John and startles him. John runs over to Jordan and says,
What's wrong?
and Jordan says,
That robot just moved.
and John says, oh, right. So Jordan says that robot just moved. Say, yeah. So
That robot just moved.
what are you doing with a robot?
What are you doing with the robot?
John says,
I made them myself.
and Jordan says,
How?
and Jordan says, that's ridiculous. Jordan says, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
She says, I make.
I make robots better than you.
And John
But
says,
none of them can move.
this makes Jordan very grumpy and frumpy. John pleads with her and says,
Please don't tell me. Put her slippery.
and he says, please, pinky swear.
Pinky swear.
So Jordan pinky swears with him, but she's still not happy. She's very jealous on how John is able to all of a sudden make robots that work. John says, so you want to start working on it? So John asks her,
Do you want to work on robots for me?
no, cars. Say it louder. Do you want to work on the cars?
Do you want to work on cars? No.
And then John
You
asks,
said you would have it today. No, I'm tired. I'm going to go today.
so,
You can have all
and John says, Dad, it's morning. John says, but it's morning.
But it's morning. But I'm still tired.
So Jordan trudges off home. John, still paranoid, checks out his window for more CIA helicopters. John, still paranoid, checks out his window for CIA helicopters. He doesn't see any, so he can relax. Jordan goes all the way back to her home, picks up her phone, and calls.
The CIA agent.
She's been calling them on again and again to tell them about her special inventions of robots, except they can never work. But this time, she says she does have robots that work, and they're located in a special garage on the west side of Chicago. Then she hangs up with the CIA agents and gives a maniacal villain laugh.
Ha 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 ha.
Meanwhile, back at the garage, John is so excited, he's making up more battery oil soup and he feeds it to the robots.
Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up.
And he feeds it to the robots, and they all awaken once again with a bunch of energy. Ted has so much energy this time, she comes up with a new dance called
The Eat Up
Robot.
Robot Rock.
So she starts first,
Eat up.
and they all follow. Until John all of a sudden says,
Wait, you guys hear that? No.
paranoid about government helicopters, swooping in on his new invention, John checks out the window again.
The CIA.
No, you gotta run back and tell him.
The CIA helicopter's coming to get you.
And they all panic. Oh, you got nothing. Wait, stop. Your back is turned. You have to face us and see it clearly. So, say it again. Wait. Turn sideways, Stanley. Now say
The
it.
CIA helicopter's coming to get you. Everybody, panic like robots.
And they're all panic. Almost to the point of the now how do they do that? Kevin, they do that. I do it. They all panic until all of a sudden Ted says,
Stop. I have an idea.
and they huddle up. And after Ted tells them her idea, John says,
That's a great idea.
We will form like
We form like beach ball.
we form like Transformers,
We form like Transformers into a car that drives really, really far all the way to Mexico to the state of my grandparents.
and so they decide to stir up that battery oil soup. Say, everybody say it.
Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up in a cup. Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up in a cup.
And they all drink it. Except John wasn't supposed to drink it. And so all of a sudden, they form into a car. John gets in the front, and this car is able to go at lightning speed all the way to Mexico.
What?
And by the time the helicopters land and the CIA agents swarm John's garage, they're already halfway to Mexico. So when they arrive in Mexico, they meet John's grandparents, and John gets a new job. John gets a new job in the school he used to go to as a robotics instructor. Teaching the kids about robotics, but not telling them about the special secret of how his robots can really move non-stop. And it is only at night when there's no school and no one else knows that John goes back to the school and has his special fiesta of dance and celebration with his friends.
Okay, want to go upstage?